We'll give Councilor Rankin another minute. I think we'll probably go ahead and get started. We'll give Ed, hopefully Ed will be able to join us, but good evening, everyone. Thursday, September 10th, 2020, we'll call the regular Town Council meeting to order. Next item on the agenda, of course, is roll call. Jacob?
Mark Eastman. Jim Morrison.
Here.
Paul Bissonnette.
Here.
Mayor Stewart absent. Dan Ormsby.
Here.
Kathy Downs.
Here.
And Councilor Rankin is absent as well.
Thank you, Jacob. Next item on the agenda is to consider minutes of previous meetings, and the minutes to review are from our council meeting on August the 27th. How would the council like to proceed?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Great. Jacob?
Mark Eastman.
Approve.
Jim Morrison.
Approve.
Paul Bissonnette.
Approved.
Dan Ormsby.
Approve.
And Kathy Downs.
Approve.
Next item on the agenda is to receive and review correspondence. Not seeing any this evening. Item number 6 is ordinances to consider or introduce, and we don't have any of those this evening as well. Next item is discussion items. Under discussion items, we have Parks and Recreation rules review.
We had discussed this at the last meeting, and it was determined at that meeting to leave this on the agenda for continued discussion as things changed. It's my understanding that the MPA has moved fall sports to the spring in conjunction. Perhaps Director Gagan has some information on this, but it just pretty much occurred today, so I'm not sure how much we know about its impact on any other community-based recreation. Sean, did you have any additional information on what came out from the MPA?
It's just come out within the last few hours, and I've read it briefly. And the rules have changed for some, but not all. It depends on what you're doing, how you're doing it, what sport you're playing, and what level that the state actually put your sport at. I do know that, not to confuse the matter, but there are 2 sets of rules here. There's the MPA rules and guidelines that have come out, and there's the community-based rules. And that's what's been confusing for everybody. The community-based rules are a lot different than the MPA rules, and they're a lot more lenient, I would say, as far as levels and what level you're at and which sport. For instance, one of our concerns is the basketball courts up on Miles Lane. We've been policing that. It's been going very well, but under community rules, at this point, at the level they're at, they're allowing outdoor basketball, not indoor, but outdoor basketball under those rules. So it really depends on which rules you go by. We've been looking at the MPA rules because we work with the schools, and the schools are close to those locations, but I don't have the real answer for you besides that there's 2 sets of rules here, and we've been going by the MPA rules because the RSU and the town work together, and the community rules are more lenient, they're different.
But prior to this, we were going by the community rules pretty much because the MPA wasn't out. Is that correct?
That's correct. At the beginning we were. Because the MPA didn't give any messages to anybody and held back for weeks and so on and so forth. So really, if you go by the community rules, it's totally up to the council, of course, and then we could regulate the basketball courts to have open court games up there. with people. That's totally up to the town.
That's really the one that's been the biggest bone of contention is the basketball courts. I mean,
That's correct.
yeah. And so under community rules, that's now allowed, outdoor basketball.
Right, Rich? At the level that the community rules are at now, just confirm with Rich, because he's read it along with me, is that I believe that's allowed in outdoor courts. And I guess I have no objection, it's up to the council, but I have no objection to doing that if that's the council's wishes.
I think
It's not a scapegoat at all, it makes it easier for us, to be honest with you, but you have to ask yourself, is it the right thing to do?
I mean, and I think if we were following the community rules before, and the community rules, again, I feel like we need to follow what the guidelines are and what the state is giving us and provide the least restrictive environment that we can while following the rules that were given to us. And I think if we follow those, then that's where we need to go and continue to do that. So if they decide that they, we go yellow, and they want to, restrict that more, then we need to follow that rule. But for now, when they're allowing it, we should go with it.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that at all, and you're gonna see, that would actually coming up within a week or so here with soccer and things of that nature, you're gonna see, and even football through the fall, that's gonna go into the spring, but you're gonna see like within a week or two, 7-on-7 games and things like that on those fields, so it would fit in well, actually. And that's through the MPA, so.
So there's no objection from the council at this point for continuing to following the community guidelines, even if that means that we're allowing a more open basketball.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good.
No objection here.
Yep, no objection.
I'm good.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you,
Very helpful.
Thank you.
thank you.
Anything further from the council on that? Sue, just want to make sure that we haven't had anything from the public on that topic or anything prior to, I forgot to check on, I know we haven't done much, but
No
nothing.
calls and no emails.
Great, thank you. Next on the agenda are agenda items. The first item is to approve Resolve 2021-17 to approve award of the former sludge site mowing contract.
We only had one bid, one proposal, and it's from the person who's done it for the past 5 years. This does modify the last contract. It was 3 years with a 2-year extension if nothing bad happened, and I have eliminated the 2-year extension and left it as simply a 3-year contract. It asked for a different amount, so much an hour. If the town took the contract away, I left the same conditions in that if you eliminated the contract before it was over, that there would be a $300 payment to him for that. But that is it's the only one we had.
How would the council like to proceed?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Anything additional from the council on this? Anything from the public in the last 60 seconds? Sue? Okay.
You know.
We have a motion and a second. Jacob?
Mark Easton,
Approve.
Jim Morrison,
Approve.
Paul Bissonnette,
Approve.
Dan Ormsby,
Approve.
Kathy Downs,
Approve.
Ed Rankin.
Approve.
Thank you. Next item is to approve Resolve 2021-18 to expend funds from the Animal Shelter Reserve to install a heating system at the animal shelter.
Deputy Chief Winchester has gotten bids for the replacement of the failing system at the animal shelter and is here to explain his research. Can't even do it.
We're good now. He was unmuting me. We got 3 bids from area businesses. The heating system at the shelter is approximately 20 years old. It does need replacement. It's failing. ACO Joy has done some work on that. So we sent out for bids. We got 3 bids. Osborne's Plumbing and Heating, Dead River, and Irving Oil gave us bids. So the idea is to replace the current system with a similar system, a direct heater, and then add a second unit in the second building out there for the animals. And both devices do not require electricity, so if there's a failure with power, the animals will still have heat. That's kind of where we're at this point. I'm willing to take questions if you have any.
Any questions from the council for Chief Winchester?
Yeah, Chief, is there a cooling system in there too?
There is not at this time.
Okay.
And I believe both buildings are on concrete, which adds some cooling. And I know ACO Joy runs fans out there for the animals. And I spoke with him about it, and it doesn't seem like there's an issue with the cool. It's more the heat in the winter.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So he does monitor it steady.
Yes, between Danny and his assistant and volunteers, there are people out there multiple times a day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything additional from the council? Anything from the public? How would the council like to proceed?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Jacob?
Mark Eastman,
Approve.
Jim Morrison,
Approve.
Paul Bissonnette,
Did you say my name, Jacob?
sorry,
Oh, that's okay. It probably is my internet. Approve.
Dan Ormsby,
Approve.
Kathy Down,
Approve.
Ed Rankin.
Approve.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is resignations, appointments, assignments, and elections. Doesn't appear we have any of those this evening. Let's see. Next item is approval of quitclaims, discharges, and deeds. Nothing there either. Let's see. Item 11, the town manager report and department head reports.
The department head reports are in your packet. Mine is this Saturday and Sunday will be the final weekend of the season for the operation of the Tim Emery Municipal Pool. And thanks to the Y for doing a really good job of staffing and having a good safety plan for that this season. And we look forward to a June opening of the pool next year without all that we went through in this season. But it got done, which is what's important. I'm happy to announce that Lily McCoy has joined the Bucksport Bay Healthy Community Coalition as their VISTA volunteer. She'll be working on the AARP Age and Ability Action Plan, the potential housing project at the old Timberlands building, the Thriving in Place program, as well as many other projects. If you'll remember, the Healthy Community Coalition had asked for an appropriation this year as the match for the VISTA volunteer program, and that was in the budget, and we were fortunate to get a VISTA volunteer, and she's already hit the ground running. We're very close to the deadline for participating in the U.S. Census, and in an effort to get as much participation in Bucksport as possible, we sent out a flyer today to every mailing address in Bucksport, urging people to take a few minutes and complete the census. A good census count is so important to us, especially now, in order to understand what has happened in terms of population over the past 10 years, because without a good census count, it's all just anecdotal on where we stand with that. I want to say hats off to RSU 25 and their school reopening plan. Despite having to do the business of education in a completely different way, the staff and administration are to be commended for their efforts. And thanks also to the students and parents of the district that are navigating these uncharted waters as well. There is nothing easy about any of this for any of them, but I've had really good reports that everybody's trying hard, which is, of course, $1.40, if you think about it. Mount Olive Heights, I was able to contact the property owner and USDA, and trying to work with USDA to resolve a significant outstanding interest penalty that exists on the property. The mortgage to that was paid off, but there was an interest penalty assessed, and we're working to get that eliminated so that this property can move forward. As a heads up, I will be on vacation the last week of September, the first couple of days of October. It's been some time, 2 years actually, since I took a vacation, and at this point I have maxed out the amount of time that I can carry, and I'm giving time back. So I'm taking a vacation. And the advertisement for the temporary repair to the baseball field wall, it went in the Enterprise this week with bids due back by September 22nd for consideration at your meeting. I'm sorry, 23rd for consideration at your meeting on the 24th. I am recommending that the committee for the longer-term solution include the counselors who volunteered at the last meeting, Jim Boothby from RSU 25, Rich Rotella, our Community and Economic Development Director, former Councilor Mayor David Keene, and Jay Lamper of our Public Works Department. I think if we get too much more than that, than the counselors in that, we may design a camel when we wanted to build a horse. So that is my recommendation on that. And I believe our Community and Economic Development Director has some more information when we get to that part of the meeting on this subject.
I have a question. On the U.S. Census, Sue, if people have already filled it out, do they have to fill it out again?
No. It's just one time. This is only for people who have not.
Not filled it out. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And that's how the flyer is phrased. Have you filled out this? If not, it's not too late, is what it says. So, and then it itemizes how to do it. So.
So just a point of clarification, unless I'm not seeing anything later on the agenda for Rich to speak on that topic.
Generally, he speaks under discussion items not on the
Okay.
agenda for council and the public.
Just wanted to make sure.
Talk about isn't on the agenda.
Okay, perfect. Yep, not a problem at all. And I also wanted to second something you mentioned earlier as well in your report. My youngest daughter's first day of school was this week, and we had the opportunity to stand outside of the Miles Lane School for probably 15 to 20 minutes. And they seemed to, for considering it was the first day of an entirely new process, they seem to have things well in order. And not only that, but I would like to report that the children that were standing in line, both coming off the buses and being dropped off by their parents, for children of kindergarten through fourth grade ages, and over the course of just 20 minutes, their behavior was exemplary, to the point of being surprising, just having my own of that age. So I'd just like to comment on both the performance of the staff and the behavior of the kids. Both were exemplary. Let's see. Next item on the agenda is to set public hearings and or hold public hearings and approval of any licenses or permits. And we do have an item on that this evening. We have a public hearing on an ordinance to amend the town charter, section 9.04, paragraph 2, to change the referendum voting requirement from $250,000 to $300,000. And we will, well, I don't have a gavel, but we will open the public hearing now. And we'll give the public a chance to give any comments. It looks like Rich may have something to talk about on this as well, or is he preparing for the next item?
No, no, thank you. Yes, last time we had a meeting, I had technical difficulties, and Mark brought up a point that I didn't get to validate except for the thumbs up. But the contract for the retaining walls state the main DOT shall provide a maximum of $275,000 in state funding support for the work slated above. So if this does get approved by the voters in November, we can, instead of the 249, we can go up to 275 for this project.
Very good, thank you. I'll assume, Sue, nothing's come in from the public. Okay. Anything from the council on this? Very good. We will close the public hearing. And now, how would the council like, we're taking action on this, correct, Sue?
Yes, the
Yeah.
motion would be to move this forward to referendum at the November election.
Motion to move it forward to the election.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments? Jacob?
Mark Eastman,
Approve.
Jim Morrison,
Approve.
Paul Bissonnette,
Approve.
Dan Ormsby,
Approve.
Kathy Downs,
Approve.
Ed Rankin.
Approve.
Thank you. Next up is discussion of items not on the agenda for the council and the public.
I'd like to bring up the fact that I refrained from throwing this computer across the room while I time the log.
Nice job, Ed.
Special commendation for Councilor Rankin on his exercise of self-restraint this evening. Hi, Rich.
Hi there. So I got an email the other day from the Maine.gov in regards to grant cycle for the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And I reached out to the representative in Augusta to see if we would qualify, Mr. Doug Beck. And he did mention that he gleaned from my message and the pictures he saw that he thinks that we would qualify for a matching grant. And the town, and I think Kathy might remember this from her time working at the office, the town's actually received 4 or 5 of these grants for the athletic fields in town in the past. And he would schedule a visit to come up and visit the site with me. So now this grant cycle would be in 2021 with the monies not being available until March 2022. So this temporary project is going to last at least a couple of years if we do want to wait for matching funds.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Rich on that? Anything else from the council or the public, Sue?
I'd like to ask, I'm not sure if I am correct on this or not, but on our 2 resolves that we approved, neither of them had a dollar amount on it, and I don't think I heard anyone say what the dollar amount was going to be for those.
The resolve for the heater at the animal shelter it is to award the bid to Osborne Plumbing and Heating, and that has in it in the bottom 2,871.80 and in the last paragraph to 871.80 as well. That's it. It's the I should have included Osborne's in the last paragraph. It's in the heading of the resolve as who it's being awarded to, and the amount at 2,871.80 is Osborne's bid amount. I'm sorry if that was confusing. And the other one doesn't have any amount because the other one is not costing us anything. We're not spending anything for the sludge site contract. They get them hay instead.
Okay, I just wanted that clarified for the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
I have a question, Sue. Have we gotten any of the bills yet for the pool? Have we gotten invoices from the engineer or?
We've
Probably won't.
gotten invoices from everyone, and we've paid Wardwell, we've paid Mike's Pool Service for everything related to the repairs of the pool. There are a couple of valves in the mechanical room that need to be replaced that are going to be done after the pool closes. And he's also going to do the shutdown of the pool, which is not a cost related to the repair of the pool.
Right.
It's an annual thing. But the total cost is approximately $130,000.
Okay,
That's everything.
Okay, I just wanted the public to hear what the total cost was to repair it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
It was quite a combination of efforts by Mike's Pool Service and Wardwell's, and for former Mayor Councillor Keene was sort of the liaison that.
Now that total included the engineer too?
Yes, the engineer cost to assess the wall, yes.
Okay, thank you.
The design engineer person that originally started it, yes, that includes.
Yes. Thank you.
We paid only a small percentage of that $60,000 contract that was originally done because they did not do the pool inspection. They weren't on site for any of that, so we didn't pay for what we didn't get.
Great. Thank you for the info.
You're welcome.
Anything else from the
Happy to have that one crossed off. I put it
Yes.
on that one.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Anything else from the council? Quick question, Sue. You may not know the answer, or maybe Chief Gagan does, but I don't mean to put anybody on the spot. Do we have an ETA yet for completion of the Central Street Bridge project? A time?
I think we both know the answer to this because we've discussed this, but the bridge project was supposed to be done at the end of last month.
Right, okay. I had it right then. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
They ran into a few problems, but they talked to the town manager and she's communicated to me that they're going to be done by the end of September. But stand by on that one too. We'll see, but they said the end of September.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
We reached out to them because we had not heard anything, and I knew that the deadline had come and gone, and so we had a discussion, DOT and I, about communication and deadlines and plow routes, and this can't be that way.
Right.
As we go into the cold weather season. So, and what an inconvenience it is for it during the school. It's extremely inconvenient. So, we've shaken the trees a bit. We'll see what happens as a result of.
Great. Thank you.
The other thing I wanted to mention, and I should have earlier, is we've had many people call and ask why railroad cars are being stored on the tracks. And Chief Gagan reached out initially on this and included me on the email chain, so I added my 2 cents to the discussion. And the Vice President of Operations of Pan Am called me today and said that they were storing them on the tracks because business was slow, and when business picked up, they would move them. And that could include them being there during the winter. Not being given any options, I said thank you very much, and I'm going to contact the state about what, if any, recourse we have. Some people's property is bisected by these now. They've left gaps where they could see farm crossings or those kind of things, but they haven't. The vice president wasn't what I'd call empathetic about this issue. But anyway, I just want people to know we're we're trying to understand better. This is not something that's happened routinely, and this change has got people on River Road not very happy at all.
I did send an email this afternoon to the person in charge in Belleville, Massachusetts, and I did request if he could actually look at the railroad tracks and try to find dead spots where there aren't houses, maybe on the other side of the road, up beyond 15, to get them dead spots where people aren't concerned with getting to the property on the water side. And he has not gotten back to me yet, but we will see.
Thank you for the update. Anything else from the council? All right then. Let's see. Next item is upcoming public hearings, designation of topics for committee assignment, and scheduling of committee meetings. I'm not aware of anything that needs to be scheduled, but
We should maybe think about the baseball field committee starting, and I believe Councillor Downs has information on the cemetery committee as well.
And we have scheduled a cemetery committee meeting again on October 6th. We met the other day. That was Sue, myself, and Chris Johnson. Briefly discussed the cemetery at the River Road. We're at a standstill until after the sale of the property, and then we will proceed forward with that. We talked about the being a cemetery out at the sludge site. We will continue with that after the project of 917 River Road. And other cemeteries I'm going to take a look at as we move forward, but right now our focus is on 917. So if anyone has any questions I can answer.
Will that be a virtual meeting?
Yes. And it'll be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, October 6th.
thank you, Kathy. Do we want to look at scheduling that baseball field committee meet with the first meeting for that this evening?
If councilors could give me, that we're going to be on this, could give me a couple dates, then I could contact the other members and see their availability and come up with a date that we can publish.
Do you want to do it before a council meeting, Sue? Is that? Do it at 6 on the next one, maybe the first one in October?
We could do that.
That would work.
Say 6 o'clock. Is that enough time, or do we 6:30? What's appropriate?
I think 6 would be good.
Okay.
Director Gagan.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up to the council that tomorrow is September 11th. I believe it's been 19 years since that day, and we will have a memorial set up as we do every year out in front of the building. So if you get a chance to stop by, please do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And back to the baseball field, we'll do that. Is that the first meeting in October, or are we doing that the first meeting in October? Got it. Thank you.
Well,
we have September 24th. That's why I was asking. Yeah.
I think the first meeting in October is soon enough.
Okay.
The October 24th one, you're going to be deciding on the temporary fix, and that may impact the long term.
Okay. All right. Anything else under section 14? If not, we'll move to section 15, which would be adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Questions or comments? I guess we'll carry on the mayor's tradition. Show of hands for adjournment. Very good. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.